Good morning, or again, good whatever time it is when you're hearing this. Um, I wanted to start off by saying thank you to everyone who privately or publicly reached out on the last video to share thoughts or just encouragement for this process. Um, yeah, it's a real treat to get to hear from so many different people um, and to be so well supported. So thank you. I'm trying to, keep it going. And also, I've been thinking about how to organize these little audio notes a little differently or better respect your time. Even if you're just relaxing right now, I still want to respect your time, especially given, the way that life and especially time on platforms like this can be. So anyway, this is to say that I actually wrote some notes of things I was thinking about before I went to sleep last night. And I woke up thinking, maybe I could talk about them a little bit. I mean, one of the things I was thinking about yesterday evening was how, this way in which ultimately all philosophy contains an element of each person in it. I think it's a Nietzsche thing as well. All philosophy is personal. And I don't know how people generally feel about that, but I think it has a lot of truth to it. And, I often wonder what my personal philosophy is, but at the same time, even though people talk about having a personal philosophy, I'm always struck by how that's kind of a really nebulous thing, ultimately, right? Like a personal philosophy of what? How does it play out in every situation? It's not so easy to summarize, But one of the things I've been thinking about lately in terms of my own philosophy of life or whatever is how to handle edge cases and boundaries and liminality. I posted a meme on my Instagram, when you're in liminal places, make lemonade, which I think is funny. And I think resonated with me because, like probably many of us, or I don't know how many of you listening, but I have found myself in a lot of liminal or transitional cases in the last few years and making a lot of transitions between things. And I think it can be really hard to know what to do with oneself in a situation like that. And something I was thinking about yesterday was, as much as I really love the sort of space for possibility that ambiguity opens up, I think I also really appreciate, on a deep personal level, what is made possible by, quote unquote, having boundaries. I think it's really important, right? And I think all of us need some of that, like, clarity in our social world from time to time. But it's really hard. you know, and yeah, I guess all of that just made me think about there's this tension, I guess, between living in and exploring the possibilities of ambiguity and, you know, declaratively stating, you know, yeah, this is something I like, this is something I don't like. And yeah, one of the things I was thinking about that I think makes that tricky for a lot of us is our relationship to boundaries and what we expect from them. You know, I think in a lot of cases in modern life, whether we explicitly say so or not, there's kind of this idea that boundaries might be static, you know, or like there are certain aspects of, you know, well-defined relationships or arrangements, preferences, whatever, that I think people kind of want to be able to expect them to be static, that they'll hold for at least a period of time. And I get that. I think it's I think it's reasonable in a way, but there's some tension there, a tension that I feel with some regularity. I don't think there's really an answer to it, but it's been nice to think about. You know, I think it's the other thing about this prompt I gave myself. There's not really an answer to it, but it is fun to think about all the different facets of what might be my philosophy or other people's philosophy. I wonder if you can hear outside, it's raining, which I really, really enjoy. I love waking up to the sound of rain, even though I know that it means I'm going to have to walk through it. But it's interesting to sit next to the sound of the cars going past on the wet road. I will be out there with them soon enough. Not the cars so much. I'll be taking the train. But I think another thing I was thinking about was, especially speaking to you, the general peer, on YouTube, this idea of playing with words, which I think is like an aspect of philosophy that some people really love and some people really hate. I really enjoy playing with words. I feel like I have fun talking in general, as anyone who knows me can probably attest to. But I think there's a lot of joy in playing with words. And I think it's one of the things that I like to cultivate in the world around me, you know, an atmosphere where it's okay and it's fun and it's encouraged to play with words. And I understand feeling different types of ways about this because language can be very prescriptive and isolating and normative, but I think people should have fun with it. I think we should encourage and allow people to have fun with it. It's something I try to do for myself. I personally think it's nice to play with words and it's nice to have fun communicating. But I think it's one of those other things, right? Like the tension between the freedom of ambiguity and the tightness of boundaries, you know, or the safety of boundaries kind of determines how we get to explore language and have fun with it or not. So it is in a lot of ways a real privilege to have the space to play with language. But it is one of those things that I think is more available to more people than we totally realize. So, something I'm telling myself today is to go out and have fun. Have fun with words, have fun speaking what feels true, have fun being honest, have fun admitting confusion. I mean, I'm often confused, so I may as well have fun with it. But I think something we can do to help each other explore personal philosophy, words, and liminal spaces and make lemonade of it is to give each other permission, to try stuff in this domain. And ultimately, we each have to express ourselves. It's sort of like I was thinking about in the first little recording, like I don't think anyone else can tell me how to be my authentic self. No one else can describe to me what is fulfilling for me. Other people can be in conversation with me about it, and I love being in conversation with other people about it. But, like each of us, I ultimately have to and get to make that choice, make that determination. So I think I'm going to go out and try to have fun with that process as best I can, Anyway, hopefully this was a little bit more structured. Somehow it wound up being, I think, a little bit longer. Well, I'm looking at the recording right now. It's about the same length as yesterday, I think. But yeah, wherever you are, I hope this felt nice to listen to and maybe gave you some food for thought. Again, whoever you are, even if you're just watching this video and you don't say or do anything with it, thank you for your time. And thank you again to all the people who have reached out and continue to reach out to share their thoughts, to share encouragement. It means a lot to me. So I hope to keep it going. All right. Go be well. Toodles.